Hey, what's going on guys? Migzuba here, and in today's video we're going to be taking a look at a Izzet tempo deck for standard best of 3. Now this particular version with the Gigalith Prismari Goldspan Dragon, all the interaction and the over-the-top spells has been cropping up more and more on ladder, and also in the MPL. A lot of pros played it over the last weekend. Now I'm super excited to get into the list today, but we're going to start by covering the newer cards. We got Gigalith Prismari. Now this 4-mana Elder Dragon, basically 3/4 flyer, when it ETBs you create a treasure token, and then all artifacts you control have tap, add 1 mana of any color, spend this mana only to cast an instant or sorcery spell. So this card, coupled with Goldspan Dragon and Mazemind Tome, help us generate a ton of mana to cast a ton of instants or sorceries. Our entire deck is comprised of instants or sorceries, minus the creatures, which also they have instant or sorcery halves, and the Mazemind Tomes, which also generate more mana. Goldspan Dragon creates the treasures that can also tap for mana without actually sacrificing them via the Gigalith Prismari. So basically, you're using these dragons to generate a ton of mana and then interact in a million different ways, taking extra turns and killing your opponent with your flyers, and maybe, casting a Magma Opus here or there to kill some stuff, draw some cards. You know how it all goes. So we surround the Gigalith Prismari and, well, obviously the whole treasure engine with another new card, Expressive Iteration. This card is absolutely nuts. I've loved it in every deck I've played with it. 2 mana, you look at the top 3 cards of your library, you put one of them into your hand, put one of them into the bottom of your library, and exile one of them. You can play the exiled card that turn. So this lets you hit your land drop. It can help you look for interaction that you may need. If you really need a counterspell, you can hit it off iteration most of the time and put it in your hand. If you really need removal, you can, try to hit it off your iteration. It essentially scries 3. Awesome card. Absolutely love it. The rest of that's it for the new cards. Actually, that's not true. We have Magma Opus. Magma Opus is a 8 mana instant spell. And typically in a tempo deck, you're not going to get to 8 mana, but because of Prismari, Dragon, Mazemind Tome, you generate a ton of mana. So Magma Opus helps us close the game. You get to deal 4 damage divided as you choose among any number of permanents, so any number of targets, sorry. So this can go face, this can go on planeswalkers, creatures, you guys get the deal. Tap 2 things, target permanents. That means you can tap some lands if ever you want to do that. You create a 4/4 and you draw 2 cards. It can also be discarded to create a treasure, which is also relevant because of the Prismari. It can turn into a semi-permanent mana rock, which is pretty cool. But yeah, really you just want to have a couple creatures in play, interact in the early to mid game, and then Alrund's Epiphany them a million times and kill them through the air with your dragons, or, Brazen Border 2, or through the ground with your Bone Crusher Giant or Faceless Haven. The rest of the deck has more interaction. We have some Frostbites because we are a snow deck. Frostbite's basically just Lightning Bolt that can't go face as long as we have 3 snow permanents, which is really cool. Good against creature decks. We have a Negate because Ultimatum is a scary card, and this card is good in pretty much every matchup in the meta right now. It's playable against aggro, but worst case you side it out game 2. Tomes help you generate more mana. They can scry you through your deck, gain you some life, draw you some more cards. I love me some Tomes, play them any chance I can get. We have Dispute, Ultimatum, Play decks play blue, Rogues, that kind of thing. Borrower and Bone Crusher Giant, creatures that have interaction, stapled onto them. They're really good. They're going to rotate soon, but we can play them while we can. Saw it coming. Universal Counterspell has Foretell on it. You guys know this card by now. Everything else is pretty standard of like it is a tempo list. This mana base, we have 25 lands, 3 Faceless Haven only because the mana can be a bit tricky, but we are in snow and we do want to be paid off as much as we can with the Faceless Haven, which also means we run the tapped Snowland instead of a Snarl, and we have Pathways because untapped fixable mana is just so good. For the sideboard, it's fairly standard. It basically just goes red for aggro, blue for control. So this is good against control, anything aggressive, anything that goes super wide, anything red, right? So like mono red, Winota, that kind of thing is okay against cycling as well. I've noticed they have the 0/4 that bolts things. Dispute against rogues, Ultimatum, anything that has really important cards that cost 4 more. We already went over Dispute. This is mostly here for Lovestruck Beasts, a Crowan War against any creature matchup. Taking a creature off a Crowan War and then Alrund's Epiphanying is pretty gross. Ox is here for Rogues, it's just so good in that matchup. And Shark Typhoon for like Rogues, Ultimatum, that type of thing. So guys, if you like the deck, be sure to drop a like on the video. It will be in the description down below as always. and consider subscribing. It motivates me to make more content. So that's gonna be it for me, guys. Let's get into some games. Against Yorion, no counter spells, but double tome and dragon seems pretty good. Frostbite seems a little awkward, but maybe we will be able to bolt a Florahedron or something. Okay. And this is basically just confirming Sultai. Cool. Land 4 is important, double red is good. We're also basically just pretending we're mono red right now and holding this open in case they want to play a Florahedron onto. Play draw really does matter in the ultimatum matchup. The sooner that we can get creatures threatening them and counter spells set up, the better. And they ramp. Okay. Negate. Cool. I think we still get tome down. And just pass. Okay. Opponent might cultivate here. That'd be fine. Nightmare. A little bit more annoying, but it is what it is. I can reset their Nightmare, which is pretty funny. If I reset their Nightmare, when do they go for it? If I had something else to do with my mana, I'd be all for it. The problem is we don't. But what else am I really casting this on? I think we do it. This essentially did nothing when it came down. So we're making them cast it again if they want to do something. Okay, Polychronos. And yeah, right now this is just chilling in their hand. I can shoot this thing for 3 to make it a lot less scary. I think that's worth it. Cool. Prismari. That is a good draw. It means that we can play it and still have negate open. Get red. I haven't been scrying, although maybe I should because they can play bindings. But yeah, I'll play this. And now we can just pass. I think now I'm going to scry for a land. But before we pretty much had everything we needed. Binding. Pretty cool. Tapping, using Tome to tap for some mana. Nice. Okay, we find land 5. We can play out Goldspan Dragon. Attack through the air. So what do I want to do? I can basically have 5 mana here. If I so choose, I can tap 2 of these to have another artifact online. I can tap the Tome. I can basically tap 2 of these to draw a card. This is interesting. Opponent's only on 4 mana. I can ramp. I think we just pass like this. I'm not too worried. Absolute worst case, we can tap 2 of these and then draw a card. Binding will come down. Target my Goldspan Dragon. So what now? Do I care about these treasures? I can flash in this Borrower, which seems okay. I think we do it like this. We sacrifice. Add double blue. And then just tap normally. Ooh, sorry. Only to cast non-creature spells? Shit. Okay, so never mind on that. I'm just gonna draw the card here. Right, because we can't cast the Brazen Borrower with the mana. We have to use it on non-creature spells. Alright, sorry, I haven't played too many games with this deck. True, true, true. Or is it non-creature or is it instant or sorcery? It's instant or sorcery. Right, so we have to use the Goldspan Dragon's mana to draw the cards. Cool, alright. I'll get there, guys. Don't worry. We will figure it out. So land. First things first, attack. Now what? Okay. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 mana potentially. If I tap here and then play this out, then I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 mana and I can cast Epiphany. Alright. Cool. That's actually so fun. We get to use the tomes as mana rocks. Okay. Now what? We can draw off these. We could draw here. What could we find? Maybe I should have drawn for a Goldspan Dragon. I think we could just pass though. Hold open Borrower. Hold open card draw. We have Faceless Haven now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, I probably should have drawn for an Epiphany. Nightmare, sure. Hit one of my birds. They're not dead on board, but they're about to be, unless they can interact with one of my creatures. Heartless Act. Okay, so let's draw. Counterspell. No counterspell. I draw again. Counterspell. No counterspell. How much mana do I have? I have 4 mana. I can tap like this. This is what we're gonna do. Tap for red. Bolt the Polakranos. Okay. I think they're just dead now to Brazen Borrower. And then Stomp Face. Or just Faceless Haven. They're dead to a bunch of stuff. Yeah, they're dead to Faceless Haven, they're dead to Stomp, they're dead to Goldspan Dragon. Okay. Awkward game, guys. Sorry. Still trying to figure out all the uses for the mana that the artifacts generate. So we want counter magic. Don't want that. We can drop off some Frostbites. And we can drop off a Stomp. What else do we want? Do we want a Crone War? Instead of like Bone Crusher Giant? They have big creatures, but I'm not super scared of them. I think we just go like this. We should be good. Bear with me, guys. I think the opponent being a little bit mana screwed that game also helps. And I definitely do like my play of bouncing the Nightmare. They never got into my hand. Okay. We are going to need some lands, but I guess we keep this. Okay. Let's go. Worst case, I can cycle this onto. It's not ideal, but it's fine. Let's get some red. We are a 25 land deck, so we should hit our land drops. Iteration. I think we pass, and then maybe make a treasure. Maybe counter something. I'm gonna make the treasure, guys. I don't trust this resolving very well. Okay. Well, that's good. We could iteration. Try to hit land. I mean, another land on top of what we already have. I could foretell this Epiphany. We have 3 mana, potentially a 4th tapped one. I'm not playing this right out the gate because I want to see if I'm going to play iteration. I mean, what other turn am I really casting this? Let's go. Will the opponent counter my iteration, hoping I miss my lands? It is a play you can make, especially seeing that I cycled for this treasure. Test of Talents. That's actually kind of frustrating. Well, at least now they know what they have to play around. which is also the annoying part of the card. And then you get to see my entire deck. My iterations. Well, alright then. That's a good hit. Turn 4 Goldspan Dragon, maybe? If we top deck a land. Ah. No turn 4 Dragon. Unfortunate. I'm not foretelling, I'm just going to pass. I think I'm just going to end up playing Borrower as a 3-1. At least the opponent doesn't know we have a dispute. But yeah, missing lands is very unfortunate. Especially on the draw. I could cycle for a 1-1 here, or play the 3-1. I think we just cycle. I don't want to make a 2-2, I want to conserve my mana. The more cards we draw, the more likely we are to actually hit some land. Cool, land, very good. Some more land, even better. So do we go for the dragon, or do we wait a turn and go for dragon with counterspell backup? Counterspell being dispute. I don't think so. I mean, if they target the dragon, put it this way, if they target the dragon, we get mana to fight with. But if they don't target, actually, if they go to counter the dragon, then we can crack this and actually fight a counterspell war. It's a tough call. It is a tough call. I think I'm going to go for it. And then hope they don't have a counterspell, but they have like a Heartless Act that I could negate. Full price dispute. Alright, punished. That's one of the only counterspells this deck runs, along with maybe Test of Talents post board. So frustrating. I foretell. And I pass. Eureka moment, eh? That's fine. I don't really want to counter their card draw. I think they have more important spells to counter. I'm kind of annoyed that this dragon got countered by a dispute. Not gonna lie. Although I was a bit greedy with it. Okay. I'm gonna play the 3-1 now. See if the opponent wants to try to remove it. They're on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 mana. Yep. Dispute, so that's 2 disputes down. Epiphany. Oh god. I think I'll wait one more turn. Try to hit yet another land. I'm going to foretell another Epiphany, and I'm going to pass with 4 mana. If I could have 7... It's fine. If I could have 7 mana, then casting an Epiphany and playing Dispute's going to be really nice. If they try to fight me on it. What you got? Buys Yorion. Alright, untap land. No untap land. Oh man. I'm gonna go for it. I don't think they're gonna have 3rd dispute. They might have a Test of Talents though. If I tap 3 Snowlands and attack with Faceless Haven, I still have 2 disputes. So maybe we are just supposed to be patient. But I think if they have the dispute, they just... Oh my god, they fucking have something. Okay. Cool. It's the 3rd dispute. Okay. Alright, man. So I should have just attacked with Faceless Haven. Okay. Missing land is unfortunate there. Them drawing 3 Mystical Disputes is equally as unfortunate. Let's go. On the play. On the play. I think at that point we have to take risks because we know Ayorian's coming down next turn. And if they just cast Yori and then I have to double counter it, they can pay for the first ultimatum. It's just bad. Alright. We don't mull these. It's not perfect, but it'll work. It'll do. We have a turn 2 play into a turn 3 iteration. Make sure we hit some land. Alright, that's good. I foretell. Just get that discount. Oh, I should have played the red source on too. I am a bit of a muppet. So I guess we're just holding open dispute. Cool. Yes, this was perfectly planned. I meant to protect my iteration. This actually might end up being better. If they go to Test of Talents, I can do that. All works out, guys. It all works out. Okay, so I want this in my hand, this in my library, and I want to cast this one this turn. Okay, cool. Field down. Now we have no interaction and just a bunch of dragons, which is pretty funny. A bunch of dragons and an extra turn. What to do with all this stuff? Land 4? Question mark. What you got, opponent? Hopefully they don't have 3 Mystical Disputes this time. In their top, like, 20-some cards. Here we go, man. Shocks and Seagate. Okay. Yeah. Opponent ramps. Cool. For a green, that's a good draw. That is a very good draw. So we can get a dragon down. Generate some more mana. Okay, we have to play this well now. I mean, a negate would be more powerful, but the fact that we even have in this interaction is so good. Okay, that's a problem. That is a problem. I will be the first to admit. Blue source. This thing has to attack. What do we even do? We play this. And we foretell. I could play Alrund's Epiphany. That doesn't really accomplish anything. Gargaroth is a problem. I'm gonna play the Prismari. And I'm not even gonna foretell. I want access to all my mana. If I foretell, sure we get the discount, but I want to be able to play Dispute and play Saw It Coming. Attack with the Gargaroth. Perfect. Oh, it has Vigilance. But we can double block. So they get one of my creatures, but it's literally like the only way this thing dies. Heartless Act. Am I gonna fight a counter war over keeping this Gargaroth alive? I hate this spot, but we have to. Okay, auto tapper, don't let me down. Alright, good. Okay. It's not even a good trade for us. It's such a bad deal. Okay. Duress. Take my Dispute. 3 mana. Foretell. Okay. Alright, so I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. If I play this dragon, and I attack with both, then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yep. Okay. We have to sacrifice some treasures to do it, but it's definitely worth it. Maybe I should have played this first. I cast my Epiphany, and I kill the opponent. So sloppy game. I'm not gonna lie, that was not one of my cleaner games I've ever played, but we managed to get there. So, ooh, is it tempo, guys? I do not think the opponent should have attacked with the Gargaroth. That was pretty much our only out. Like, the only way we could have removed it was to double block it, and the opponent really went, yep, go for the double block. Whew, closed it out. What's the saying? We closed the distance? We went the distance. Yeah, there you go. It's late, guys. Give me a break. Okay, hand is pretty good. We have some 1 mana interaction, potentially. Iteration on 3 if we don't hit our 3rd land. Oh no, is this mutate? Okay. I'm not going to give my opponent a turn 2 mutate target. So we're just going to bolt this thing. I know there's a couple of really cheap mutators. I'm not even sure if there's one for 2. I have not checked out the mutate cards in a minute. But I think this thing has to die. Having a turn 1 answer to this is pretty good. Opponent's just chilling. Okay. We never play iteration on 2. Because you want the 2 mana draw 2. Sort of. Because it's not exactly a draw 2, but it kind of acts as one. When this thing ETBs, well, ETBs the +1/+1 counter on it, then... Okay, I think we let that resolve the first time. We bounce it as a tempo play. And then we iteration, hope we hit a blue source, and then counter it on the way back. Easy. 1 into the hand. 1 into the library. Exile 1 of them. Everything going according to plan. Now, if they want to tap more for this, we can just dispute it away. And we get pretty far ahead doing this whole thing. The cocoon. Okay. Seems annoying. Parcel Beast? I dispute that. I'm sorry. None of that right now. So now what? Do I play my Prismari? I don't think so. Actually, do I even care if this hits the board? It enters with a +1/+1 counter for each mana. It copies kicked spells, which can be annoying. Okay, so we're definitely playing Passage. I think I just pass. I think I just go draw go. Borrower's holding priority. I don't think I can tap out for the Prismari just yet. We don't have any 1 or 2 mana interactive spells. Like, if I had a Tome, maybe, but even at that, I don't think so. We are the tempo player. I want to get a threat online. If the opponent doesn't do anything, I'll flash in Borrower and go from there. Maybe it was better to foretell saw it coming, but I think getting a threat on the board is very important. Check the bootleg Theros lands. Man, I really wish they'd bring these back. I missed out on them back at Theros because gold was scarce at the time. I was very focused on actually farming the set. And yeah, they just slam Verazol. I think we just have to counter it. Something's holding priority. Egg attack. Nice. Now we can play Dragon. We have a piece of 2 mana interaction to go right with it. We We don't have any crazy over-the-top spells, so Prismari doesn't look amazing here. I mutate. Okay. Trying to go to combat. Nope. I want to see if they do anything else. That's why I didn't just bounce immediately. Why am I expecting something like Snakeskin Veil out of this player? They have something. They definitely have something. They scoop. They don't have anything. Okay. Well, something was holding priority there. Alright. So, how do we want to side against this particular mutate pile? Crow and War seems pretty good. Fire Prophecy doesn't seem too bad. Disputes actually seem pretty solid because they have some Simic cards. Now, what do we want out? Negate doesn't seem great. Well, before we do that, do I care about Disdainful Stroke? I don't think so. Shark is kind of whatever. That they're not red. No, no, no. Oh, maybe Cinder. Maybe Soul Seer. We'll think about that. And not Ox. Okay, so 6 cuts. I can drop a Prismari. They have Gem Razors. Actually, they have Gem Razors, right? That means we do want to keep in Soul Seer. I'm not gonna lie, guys. I have not played against much Mutate. I'm not exactly sure how I'm supposed to sideboard. Borrowers seem good. Saw It Coming seems okay. Maybe just a little slow. Maybe I cut one copy. Tome, they have Gem Razors. Tome seems pretty bad. It's one of the better things to Gem Raise. So, like, 2-mana interaction is, like, here, kind of. Bone Crusher seems fine. Frostbite seems pretty good. Maybe I just go for 2 Disputes because they have just a bunch of green cards. So I think, yeah, 2 Disputes seems fine, and then we can go to 3 iterations. Okay, we'll go like this. But yeah, Brazen Borrower seems like an MVP. All the removal spells, as long as their creatures don't get too big, seem really good. We cannot keep this. Okay. This is better. We got some interaction, removal spells, good mana. Sadly, we're on the mold, but it's okay. On the draw helps with that. And early on, these cheap removal spells are really good to take out their creatures that they can mutate onto. Okay. Are we going to see the Cocoon? Will the Cocoon come out of our opponent? Stone Coil Serpent. Okay, I like Brazen Borrower. That's a really good draw. It can bounce their entire mutation to hand. Okay, Verizol will come down. Cool. Am I just supposed to bolt Verizol now? See, it's awkward, right? Because I know they have, like, Parcel Beasts and stuff, and I can't counter them. But if the mutation happens... Well, I guess if they mutate a Parcel Beast, it doesn't really matter. On 3, I think a Great Horn is pretty cheap, but it has a mutate ETB. Tough call to see if we mutate now or later. I think we hold. Allred's Epiphany doesn't look great right now, especially in the face of a Stone Coil Serpent. Yeah, I think we just draw go. We have the answers, we just have to actually have the time. Yeah, okay, so they go for the Parcel Beast. So 1 and a tap. and it's not summoning sick, which is frustrating. So what do? I can stomp this right now. The Parcel Beast will come down. Then we have to actually deal with a Parcel Beast. Seems awkward. The fact that they have 2 creatures here makes this process more difficult. If I just bounce it, then they get to ramp. You know, maybe that's what I'm just supposed to do. Let this resolve and then let them bounce it. See if they want to go to combat and just hit me for a bunch first. Okay, they go to combat, which is perfect. Means I can send this right back. Snakeskin Veil. Oh my god, okay. Well, now we're in trouble. Okay, Snakeskin Veil. Did not play around that. Now we have to deal with a 5/7 on turn 3. Cool. But I swear, on the play, we're gonna have a much easier time. But yeah, mutations really do lose out hard to bounce effects. What you got? Good old rope. Good old classic rope. Oh, we're just chilling, guys. We're waiting to see what the opponent does. I mean, I can counter their next thing, but we're still getting hit for 6 minimum, which is not ideal. Mutate onto a Stone Coil Serpent. I'm gonna go and say no to that. I can shoot the Stone Coil next time. We take 6, which is super unfortunate. Tapped land. Okay. Okay. This is 5 total damage combined. Let's play the land and pass. After I Fire Prophecy, which I probably will have to do, then we're probably cycling away Epiphany. This is a problem. Our removal is black-based, so, you know, not ideal. I wonder if this is post-board or not. Opponent looking at the Parcel Beast, they probably have another mutation. I go to 2. Okay. Let's thin the deck. I guess I should have ended up foretelling, but there's only so much we can do. Okay, land. I guess we just play this as a blocker and hope we're not dead. If that was untapped land, I'd feel a lot better being able to, well, attack, block, and then trade with the Fire Prophecy. So maybe we weren't supposed to crack passage for the highest % chance at a land. Man, we're really about to lose this game to a freaking Snakeskin Veil. Feels bad. Last card. Okay, that's game. Cool. Let's try that one more time now, shall we? This time I'm gonna start. So I will have more of a tempo chance. Meaning on the play, do I want an actual counter spell here? We also didn't draw our Acroan Wars. I think I drop an Epiphany for an actual counterspell. On the play especially, meaning we can counter something on 3 before they're super on the board. And yeah, I think the 2 disputes is correct. Looking more at their deck, they seem significantly green. Like, they have, what, Parcel Beast in blue? They have the X-Hydra thing in blue. The thing that everyone was freaking out was like the second Crisis, but a lot more shit. You know what I'm on about. The kicker card. Okay. Let's go. Yep. Easy keep. Now, the question becomes, do I fetch on turn 1? Do I fetch blue on turn 1? Because I want this available on turn 3. And I can stomp something on turn 2. Anyways, I think I do. They might have a 1/1 Stone Coil or a Cocoon, but I think this is correct. Okay. Not even punished. Awesome. Feels even better. So, blue. No foretell. Let's go. Feeling pretty good about this. Okay. 2 mana nothing so far. Brazen Borrower. I kind of want to get on the board, but I feel like we just have to chill for now. After using the spell sides of these creatures, we can start playing them out. I feel like we win a longer game. We have the Epiphanies, we have the Opus, we have all the mana from the dragons. What you got? Sultai? Out of nowhere? Okay. So what, they're a Brokos deck? Is that the card? Varizal. Do I just counter this? Just hard count, just counter the Varizal, we don't have to deal with it again? Or do I tempo bounce it? Next turn I'm gonna have 4 mana. I think I tempo bounce it. But I honestly like bouncing a bigger creature. Alright, you know what? We're going to go through this. Just 3 mana counterspell, nice and clean. Okay. This would have been a 3/3, so I guess I could have bolted it with the Frostbite. Okay. This is fine, guys. Cocoon resolves. No problem. Now, what are you going to put on the Cocoon? I really want my land. Yeah, maybe I was just supposed to Frostbite and play Borrower. Actually, no, I didn't have 3 mana at that point. So maybe I was just supposed to play Borrower, Frostbite main phase, like on my turn. Great Horne. Do I just counter this? Dispute into a Frostbite? Seems okay. Cheap interactive spells. Feels good, alright. Nice. I mean, Borrowers are good, right? But when the mutate creatures ETB, they get value, which is kind of frustrating. What you got? Looking through my yard, The fact that I'm not pressuring them is kind of bad as well. I can't exactly just animate this and start attacking. I have to find a turn where I can interact and then play a creature, or play a creature and hold open interaction. Okay. Gemraiser. I feel like I just bounced that, right? But then we're being kind of mana inefficient, or I can just Soul Sear it. but it's something that didn't have an ETB. So I think we do just bounce it as a tempo play, and we can kill it later. Okay, that's a good draw. That means that I can bounce and interact. Sorry, bounce and play Borrower, or stomp and play Borrower. Second Gem Razor comes down. So we go here. That's red. Actually, we need blue, right? We need 3 blue. Okay. So this could end up being bad if we draw like a Goldspan Dragon, but I'm playing for the cards we actually have in hand right now. Okay. Brazen Borrower, showing off its power. Immediately punished. There was like 0 time. Okay. Alright, cool. Now we need a red source. Good. Okay. We'll be fine. We have plenty of red sources, right guys? Plenty of red sources. Tapping all of the green so I don't have to play around Snakeskin Veil. For the thing. Cool. I'm gonna play out my second threat because I have a Soul Seer in hand. Okay. We have chosen aggression. Opponent has spent 3 turns in a row trying to get that giant killer to stick. Might as well foretell there. There's nothing else to do with my mana. And now we have a 2-turn clock. There is all okay. Alright, well, opponent found their in. So what's the play? What is the play? I can animate Faceless Haven and attack, and if they block, I can stomp. I think we do that. Okay, so look at this. We go here, here, here. We go here. We attack like this. The opponent blocks a Borrower? Sure. They go to 4. In that case, I probably should have left open blue, but I feel like we have to kind of bluff the stomp. Or not bluff the stomp, we have to keep the stomp option open. Because I feel like the opponent really should block the Haven there. But yeah, like having a untapped dual land would be great here, but we do what we can. I was just trying to trade for the Gem Razor. But this did secure us 1 more point of damage. Brokos, is this just cast? It is just cast, eh? Are they dead? I think they're just dead, right? I stomp face, attack with... Hold on. They go to 1? No, they're dead. Alright, look. I'm chilling. Sorry, guys. I don't know what I'm bugging about. Alright. And that's GG, because this thing doesn't have reach. Okay, cool. They could block the Goldspan Dragon, but they're dead to the Borrower. Interesting game against Mutate. I actually haven't played Tempo against Mutate in a while. I have not faced Mutate itself in a while, but we managed to get there despite their Snakeskin Veils and massive creatures. Alright guys, and we are back. So if you made it this far, just please excuse the handful of misplays I made. I am fairly new to this deck. I only picked it up recently, but I was having a lot of fun with it and wanted to make a video. And I don't see a huge harm in that. I tend to play all types of different decks, so I'm not like absolutely amazing with all of them. Little things to pay attention for. The Prismari. This thing basically obviously enables your artifacts to tap for mana. The mana has to be spent on instant or sorcery spells. I keep trying to, I always like to count my mana, and I try to make my turns as mana efficient as possible. And this card really does mess with me. I tend to incorporate adding like Brazen Borrowers or Bone Crusher Giants into the calculation of the Prismari mana, or drawing cards off Tome into the Prismari mana calculation. You really have to remember these treasures that the Prismari taps only count for instants or sorceries, so be careful with that. You can technically sacrifice the treasure to cast anything else or put the mana into anything else, but you don't really want to do that, so that's just something to be aware of. Aside from that, guys, the deck is great. It's a hell of a lot of fun if this is your style of gameplay. You might want to add like 1 or 2 more counter spells to the sideboard. I found oops, sorry, I just dropped some shit. But yeah, I found siding out against Ultimatum to be a little bit awkward. Like, you don't necessarily love keeping Bone Crusher Giant in against them, although it isn't horrible. Anyways, guys, deck list will be in the description down below as always, and I will catch you in the next one. Peace out.